Hi, my name is Abhinav Lohia. I'm the Director of Global Business Development at Golden Gate Global, a regional center licensed by USCIS based out of San Francisco, California. In the past 10 years, more than 1,300 investors have trusted Golden Gate Global with their immigration to the United States. In this video, we will be discussing the differences between a direct EB-5 petition versus a regional center EB-5 petition. We will be going through the following. What is EB-5 visa? What is a direct EB-5 visa? And how to prepare for a direct EB-5 visa. We will also be discussing things to keep in mind when you are filing for a direct EB-5 petition and how to prepare for it and the costs involved. Later, we'll be discussing about regional center EB-5 visas. What is a regional center? How to prepare a regional center EB-5 visa application. And lastly, we'll discuss about the key differences between the two approaches, like investment in a direct EB-5 visa versus a regional center, the calculation of job creation and job buffer, and risk versus reward, secure debt versus equity investment. So moving ahead, let's talk about EB-5 visa. So EB-5 visa program was established in 1990 by the US Congress. This was for the sole aim of attracting foreign direct investment and creating American jobs. It became popular over the years because it's a direct pathway to US permanent residence. And eventually you can apply for US citizenship. And the green card is for your whole family, which is the investor, the spouse, and children below the age of 21. It requires a minimum investment of $800,000 in targeted employment areas and $1.05 million in non-TEAs. It requires documenting your source of funds. Every dollar that you're investing needs to be properly documented by a US immigration attorney for you to qualify under the EB-5 visa program. And lastly, it is not only about investment. This program requires you to create at least 10 new American jobs by infusing your capital in a project, direct or indirect. So what is a direct EB-5 visa? In this video, I'm talking about starting your own business, then creating 10 American jobs and receiving a green card under the EB-5 visa program. So let's start from the basics. Before you can even file a petition with USCIS, you need to have an entity in place. It could be in the form of LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp. It requires a minimum investment of $800,000 if the place of business is located in a targeted employment area, which is usually an area of high unemployment or a rural area. The investment amount increases to $1.05 million if your office is in any other area that's not a targeted employment area. It requires you to have a physical place of business. So you will be leasing a place of business and providing the address so that USCIS can determine whether it's in a targeted employment area or in a non-targeted employment area. Eventually, you need to hire 10 new full-time American workers. So let me break this down for you. You need to hire 10 workers within a reasonable time. So you can start your business with 2 or 3 employees and then grow the number to 10 in the next couple of years. These need to be new employees. So if you take on an existing business, you need to add 10 new American workers. If you're starting a new business, then you need to add 10 workers to your workforce. These need to be full-time. USCIS defines full-time as 35 hours a week. So all your 10 workers or 10 positions, job positions in your entity need to work for a minimum of 35 hours a week. And these need to be American workers. That is, they need to be citizens and green card holders. So this you have to be very cognizant of, that whenever you're starting a business with an aim to achieve immigration benefits, that business should result in creation of 10 new American jobs. And these jobs need to be sustained till you receive your unconditional green card. Now, apart from investment and creation of American jobs, you are required to submit a business plan that's compliant with US immigration laws. And this business plan needs to cover how your funds will be used in the business, viability, market research, so viability of your business, financial projections for the next 5 years, how the job creation will work. It'll start with 2 or 3 employees, when and how it'll grow to 10 employees. It needs to have an organization chart. It needs to clearly indicate the position held by the EB-5 investor and the role in the company. This is a very hands-on approach to EB-5. It is running your own business or with partners and making sure that 10 American workers are employed there. So one thing to bear in mind, if you have a business that only needs 5 or 6 workers and you intend to just hire 4 more to get the benefit of immigration law, the 4 extra workers, the salaries, the benefits, everything is a cost for your EB-5 visa. So you need to bear in mind. These are some of the costs involved in filing an EB-5 visa petition. Like I said, it's very hands-on. You need to hire the right professionals for it, because not only is are your commercial goals, part of this process, it's also your immigration. So the first step is obviously working with a tax consultant to figure out what kind of entity you will be forming. Will it be an LLC or S Corp or C Corp? The second thing is you need to hire a corporate attorney to properly document all your entity. You need to establish it. You need to have corporate documents. Then it is recommended, though not necessary, that you hire an employment law attorney to have all the employment agreements in place. A lot of time people copy paste things from other agreements or get contracts from Google, which may or may not be of best quality. And when everything is going great, it's fine. But when litigation happens, there is employee dispute, these contracts come to bite you. So it is highly recommended that you retain an employment attorney. Obviously, you need an immigration lawyer, because your immigration lawyer will prepare your petition. They'll put together a narrative of your source of funds, which is really important for you to get an approval. Along with that, they'll put together all the documents prepared by the tax consultant, the corporate lawyer, the employment lawyer. They'll also work with the business plan expert to draft a business plan for you. So that's last, business plan writer. They'll do all the market research. They'll present it in a way that's acceptable by USCIS. Again, this is different from your regular business plan where you're only talking about financial projections. This goes beyond. This talks about compliance with US immigration laws. So all these professionals are really important for filing a direct EB-5 petition. Now, as we are talking about costs, so I just want to give you an example here. Well, not everyone in your firm can be a minimum wage worker, but just for the sake of example, let's say you hire a person at $15 an hour. Now, this needs to be a full-time employment, which is defined as 35 hours a week, which translates into $525 a week per employee. Now, you need to hire 10 employees to be eligible for your EB-5 green card, which means you will be paying about $5,250 per week for the 10 employees for the whole year. Okay. So this is the minimum expense you're looking at per week for 10 employees, $5,250. Add to that payroll taxes, the employee benefits, health insurance, etc., the lease for your business, the office or manufacturing plant or whatever, the utilities, and other business-related expenses. If you're opening a trucking company, it needs to be trucks. If it's an IT business, you need to have a setup with computers and internet connection and desks, etc. So all that depends. So when you're going into this, obviously, your minimum investment is $800,000, but you will be spending well in excess of that. Of course, your business, if it's successful, it'll be generating a lot of revenues. So again, it's a risk to reward. While your investment is not capped, your returns are not capped either. You can, become a millionaire or a billionaire depending on how well your business does, as long as you're willing to take the risk and are willing to retain the employees, the 10 American workers, whether your business needs them or not, for your immigration benefits. Now let's talk about regional center EB-5. Regional centers are entities. These are private entities approved by United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, and they are authorized to sponsor EB-5 projects. So what do these regional centers do? So regional center EB-5 is a very hands-off approach. You don't need to hire many professionals because that's what regional centers have already done. So the regional centers scout projects that meet the requirement of immigration law. They conduct financial and immigration due diligence. They retain economists to assess how many jobs will be creating in the project. They retain attorneys for drafting, offering documents, and submit a comprehensive business plan to USCIS. They market the project around the world, India, China, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, you name it, Latin America, or within the United States, and raise capital. The best part about regional center EB-5 is the investment can be pooled from multiple EB-5 investors in one project, versus a direct EB-5, which is just one EB-5 investor. Regional centers also conduct ongoing due diligence on the project and make sure that the funds are being spent properly and they are spent in accordance with the business plan, and obviously give quarterly updates to EB-5 investors. And lastly, in a regional center model, usually your money goes in the project in the form of a loan for 5 to 7 years. So then regional centers work with the developer to get the money back and repay it to their investors. Whereas in a direct EB-5 model, you are putting in your money as equity. There is no repayment guarantee. In a regional center context, your costs are pretty limited and capped. Your investment amount is $800,000. Whether the project is doing, not that great or is going great, your investment is capped. In addition to your $800,000 investment, regional centers charge administrative fee from $50,000 to $70,000. And this is for the reason for all the things they do to bring a project to market and hire professionals like attorneys and economists, etc. And this varies by the project. What you need to do to be successful with an EB-5 regional center EB-5 application is retain a good EB-5 visa attorney. They will help you document your source of funds, and they will do immigration due diligence on the project, and then only will you file your application. In addition to all of this, both with direct EB-5 and regional center EB-5, there are government fees or USCIS fees, which vary between $10,000 to $15,000, which are common for both kinds of EB-5 petitions. So, recapping here, for a direct EB-5 visa, your minimum investment is $800,000, but there is no cap on maximum investment. It's a business. It's a living organism. As it's growing, it needs more money. It will generate revenue. It may not. But guess what? You need to retain those 10 jobs. So there is no cap on maximum investment. In the regional center context, you invest $800,000 plus the administrative fee. The regional center cannot come back and ask you for more money. Your investment is capped at $800,000. In a direct EB-5 context, it's an equity investment. It is in your business. You sink or swim with your business. In case of regional centers, I want to say 90% of the investments are in the form of a mezzanine debt. They are senior in lien to equity and perhaps junior to an institutional loan. But it is a secured debt, and it is for a period of 5 to 7 years. In a direct EB-5 project, you have to create 10 direct full-time American jobs. They need to be working for you. You need to be paying payroll taxes, all those things, provide benefits. These are 10 actual workers in your business. In the regional center context, the job creation methodology is pretty liberal. Not only can you count the jobs that are created in that project, like construction workers, but you are also allowed to count jobs that are created indirectly, which is your project needs concrete, steel, lumber, all these things. Whatever money is being spent on those materials and the jobs that are created in those industries are also counted towards the EB-5 investors' jobs. So what that ends up doing is not only does it create 10 new American jobs, it also results in excess job creation. So that is another really big advantage of regional center EB-5. One of the biggest advantage of direct EB-5 versus regional center is that there is no cap on your ROI. You've made an equity investment in a project, in your business, and there is no cap on that. You can earn millions of dollars or not earn anything at all. Whereas in case of a regional center model, because it is going in the form of a debt for 5 to 7 years, your return is usually capped at 1% per annum. As regional centers only make money from the spread they get between the money they raise from you and loan it to the developer. Lastly, in the case of direct EB-5, it is you who has control of your money. So your success depends on how well you manage your money and how well you manage your business. Now, things get difficult if you're not living in the United States because your business needs to be managed remotely, or you authorize someone you trust within the United States to manage your business. In case of a regional center, there are experienced finance professionals that manage your money. They have an oversight. There are independent fund managers that oversee the project, and there are lawyers involved. So they are the ones that specialize in managing capital and give you quarterly reports. Lastly, like I said, EB-5, direct EB-5 is a very hands-on process. You need to hire multiple professionals, tax consultants, employment attorney, corporate attorney, immigration attorney, business plan expert. to file a petition that is approvable with the USCIS. In case of a regional center EB-5, it's a hands-off approach. Everything is done, everything is prepared by the regional center. You just need to retain a competent EB-5 visa attorney who will assist you with documenting your source of funds and do due diligence on the project. So these are the main differences between a direct EB-5 visa petition and a regional center EB-5 visa petition. I hope this information was helpful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.